Hmm. Well, I'm 27. I'm male. I am from Nottinghamshire originally, um, and I've pretty much always lived in Nottinghamshire or Leicestershire all my life. I spent 3 years in Lincoln at university, came back. Um, Thought I quite like it where I live, so I might as well keep on living in that area instead of moving anywhere else. Um, I think I guess I'm a emerging creative, primarily a clown, I would say, doing street theatre, a fair amount of drama facilitation, bits of puppeteering, bits of storytelling. Um, what else do I'm married. Um, I don't know what else there is to me, really. Hmm. What do I think about most? Uh, I think it kind of goes in trends, or not trends, but kind of I have cycles of kind of thought, just kind of depending on what's happening at the moment, which kind of normally goes from uh, worrying about my relatives, my grandparents, kind of my dad, or it could be worrying about my wife. And then, like, other times, I'll go through patches where, like, what I think about is like really positive stuff. So it could be projects that I'm really excited to kind of work on, or I am working on, in terms of kind of my creative practice. Um, I don't know if there's anything else. I'm quite an anxious person, so I think a lot of the time I'm worried about really trivial stuff that kind of when you look back a week later, you go, why were you thinking about that for so long? But at the time, it's kind of all consuming, really. I don't know if there's anything like really specific that I can think of at the moment. Hope that answers the question in some way. Mindset. To me, the word mindset means how you view your kind of your view on life, and kind of how you uh, allow yourself to react to kind of things in life. I try, I really, really try, especially this year, try to have quite a positive mindset where it's that thing of, right, this has happened. It's not really something that I had hoped to happen. It's a bit of a kick in the teeth, but I'm going to try and find the silver lining. So to me, mindset is kind of a bit like how you allow yourself or react to the things that are going on in the world or in your life. Generally speaking, I think I'm a bit of an Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh in terms of mindset. I think I can be very humdrum, the term. I can be very uh, kind of negative at times, a bit cynical. I always think that the worst's going to happen, um, which I really kind of am struggling. I think recently I've been doing quite well and trying to challenge myself with that. But I think for long periods of my life, I think I've always kind of had quite a bit of a negative mindset of, oh, it's just going to rain today. Oh, I'm not going to be very good at this. Yeah, I think I've probably, generally speaking, over the course of my life, had quite a negative mindset. But I'd like to think the past, definitely within this year, I've tried to have a much more positive mindset, and um, just it's just so much better. I don't understand why I didn't do it before, or at least try to do it before. I still have days where I am a bit negative, um, but it's just better when you just presume the best for everything, isn't it? And I can't believe it's taken me to 27 to kind of work that out, that if you think better of the world is better. Um, well, life's a lesson. Um, I think for the better. No, I'm certain they have for the better. I kind of look back, um, kind of at my kind of life, particularly when I was at school. I used to, very brief period of time, used to do supply teaching in a special school, and there was a lot of very anxious learners in the school, and the kind of that really made me think of what was I like when I was at school. And I look back, and not to necessarily the extent that the young people that I was working with in that school were anxious, but I look back and I think I just spent all of my education, so from the age of 5 until 16, until I went off to college, being super, super anxious. And at the time, I didn't really notice like how everything just seemed awful. I just thought that was the education system. So I think during kind of that period of time, I had a very dour mindset. Um, and then I guess kind of when I went to college, and I was just kind of doing the subject that I was more passionate about, and I didn't have all of the maths and English and the science and stuff in my way, I was a bit better. Um, then again, I say that, but like I reached 17 and then I just had a massive mental breakdown, which probably was a result of partially some of my mindset of that just the world's awful. Um, so I would say overall it's been a bit of a negative mindset, but like I say, recently I've been trying to get better, and I do feel like I'm getting the benefit of it all, of kind of being a bit more positive. I find people annoy me a lot less when I have a bit more of a positive mindset, which does make me think the people in my past that I found really annoying and just a bit like grating, was there anything wrong with them, or was it me that kind of tarred them with that "you're annoying, you're this, you're that" brush? Um, yeah, I think I answered your question partially. No, no, I guess my thought kind of depends on what type of mindset they have. Um, I do sometimes come across people that kind of you get to know them, and they say odd things, and you think kind of you get a view through a window into their mindset. And sometimes I go, oh, I'm glad that I really don't have that. An example of this is a lady that used to work with uh, in the care home that I work in as a cleaner. Just every Monday was just the same thing. Did you do anything over the weekend? No. And are you doing anything this weekend? No. Okay. And then kind of you get to know her a bit better, and she'll go, well, this is just it for us, isn't it? Like we just come to work 6 or 5 days a week, go home, watch a bit of telly, and then you do the same thing every day. And that was really kind of a bit of a turning point for me, because it was kind of just before I started to try and have a bit of a more positive outlook and positive mindset, that I kind of saw that, and I was like, that is a horrific mindset to have. Life doesn't get better. And I think that was kind of one of the many catalysts that kind of made me change my mindset. That being said, um, I do come across people where they're mega, mega positive all the time. Um, and I do think sometimes that there is such a thing as toxic positivity in terms of mindsets, that everything's fine, everything they're doing is completely okay, um, which sometimes I do think um, can be detrimental, especially if it kind of gets you doing questionable things or endangering your life. So I guess it kind of depends on the individual and their mindset. I think. Well-being and health to me, um, I kind of, when I think of those two things, I think of them very internally, um, especially with health. Um, I think I kind of think about um, having um, good mental health. I guess that would be good. To me, um, I guess having that mental and emotional resilience to whatever this crazy world throws at us. I think that would be pretty like desirable if you can kind of weather most storms. Not to say that you're not going to have hiccups and have dips, because like life is all a bit of a roller coaster, isn't it? And we have times where we're feeling healthy and we're feeling kind of good, um, and then other times we're not. But I guess, yeah, I guess resilience, and then I kind of guess in terms of your physical health, I kind of think about that a little bit, but primarily to me, I guess it's kind of more internal. And being happy um, is a real big part of that. And I think that's something else that I've really kind of trying to bring into my life as well, is just asking myself every day, have I done something today that's A, made me happy, B, made me laugh? So I think that's part of that all kind of umbrella term to me. Uh, for me, uh, mindfulness is something that really, really helps me. I try to do 20 minutes of it a day, and just kind of setting that time aside from the rest. I do it basically the first thing I get up, I go downstairs and I do my mindfulness. And that 20 minutes of, it's not even me time. Um, it's just time of not doing anything, kind of gives me that buffer in between kind of the start of the day, where I can just kind of almost get myself into a neutral state where I'm like, okay, I'm ready for the today. I've given myself some time to do absolutely nothing. My brain is kind of now a bit more relaxed and hasn't got kind of a constant thoughts that are going on it. Um, so yeah, I think mindfulness really helps with that for me. I think it comes back to um, being able to um, weather storms, um, those hiccups, those bumps in the road, kind of dust yourself off and go, that's happened, keep on moving forward. Um, yeah, I think it's that. I think I repeat it a lot to myself. In fact, every day I repeat it. It's a positive affirmation from the book. Um, Feel the fear and do it anyway. And it is the line that stuck with me is, whatever happens to me, whatever situation, I will handle it. I repeat that to myself constantly, and I find myself believing it more and more. So kind of, I guess it's having that belief that whatever's going to happen to you, you're going to be all right on the other side of it. And potentially, hopefully, a better person who's learned some sort of experience. Other people, I think, um, I really find it inspiring, um, to kind of. I'm really, really fortunate that I work with people that I'm really, really close friends with, and I would consider them like their family before their colleagues. And kind of, as you get to know people, you find out about them and you find out about their trials and tribulations. And you just think, whoa, that's a massive thing that you've overcome, but here you are and you're a better person for it. So I guess hearing other people and kind of a, about their life really inspires me. Um, so I guess learning from other people's experience and thinking, well, if they've done that and they've overcome it, I can do that. Um, I think if I had to give one person, it would be my wife. Is probably the person that I draw the most strength from. Um, she overcame a forced marriage and just left home at the age of 17 and moved into my student accommodation with me. And I just at the age of 17 to just kind of up and go and kind of every kind of thing that kind of left behind, the good and the bad. I just think that she's a really inspiring person and really strong person. I think, well, I'm not having to do anything half as bad as that. So what am I moaning about? I can do that. And kind of also, as well as kind of hearing other people's kind of experience, I think um, other people give me strength through just being nice and supportive. Um, I am the type of person that gets in my own head, and sometimes if I get in a really bad kind of uh, anti-me kind of mindset, I think other people support kind of brings me out of it. So yeah, I think just other people, people are just amazing when they want to be. Equally, they can be very bad, but I try to avoid those people. I think probably um, when a lot of kind of over the past 6 years since I've graduated, I've spent the majority of my time working in care homes, um, which isn't what I went to university to do. Um, but um, uh, Working in care homes, it is a bit of a double-edged sword. You have those days where you think, this is a fantastic job. Um, Everyone wants to be my friend. All I need to do to make someone's life or day better is just have a chat with them and get to know them, which is fantastic. The downside of working in a care home is that the majority of the people that you work with and get to know um, are elderly or aren't very well. And the downside of that is eventually they kind of their life comes to an end. So when I first started, kind of, I've been really, really fortunate in my life that I've never really had to directly experience death. I'd had like my nanny had died or my great grandma had died, but I never had kind of that first-hand experience of witnessing death. So when I kind of was at the care home and it was a case of I was in that environment, I think um, the first kind of time that I witnessed it, and I can still remember her name. I can remember her family. I can remember kind of what she did for a job. I can remember what her kids are called. I can remember what her dog was called. It was just someone that I kind of, you're not supposed to have favorites, but she was one of my favorites. And she just kind of passed on in not a very nice way. It was quite a prolonged period. And at kind of the age of 21 to kind of witness that and uh, it shook me up a bit. Um, so there was a fantastic activities coordinator at the time, um, who was very matter of fact, very, very caring, but she had been in the army for like 20 years. So she just was a bit blunt at times. And she kind of came and spoke to me and said, look, it is crappy. It does hurt, but you've kind of got to think your job's done with that. You've got to move on because you've got 40 other residents that need you. So I guess kind of having that mindset, I really, really struggled with at first. So I've kind of had to use a lot of strength and resilience kind of in those experiences going forward from then, because it's that thing of she was right. There was other residents that needed me. It's that thing of, I don't like the term kind of switching something off in your brain, because that sounds horrifically kind of robotic, and robots are the worst people, the worst type of thing to work with people. But I think I've had to use a lot of strength kind of doing that from then onwards. Yes, I think they are. I think they're all kind of to do with, um, I think we've mentioned the term, that the resistance and strength of kind of our mindset. I think it's all kind of linked to do with that. Um, yes, more times than not, I think I do see strength and resilience. Uh, Kind of, again, on a kind of a small scale level. Yeah, I think there's a lot of resilience and strength, especially with kind of what's going on with the pandemic at the moment. I think a lot of people are making a lot of sacrifices, um, which require a hell of a lot of strength and resilience for kind of the benefit of everyone else. I mean, even on a local level, my mum is doing the shopping of two other kind of elderly people, and I think that takes a lot of strength to kind of what's going on with that. Equally, I think uh, I do think that there's just strength and resilience. I think human beings, like I said earlier, are really, really fantastic when they want to be. Um, and it tends to be kind of when backs are against the wall, we kind of pull out all the stops to get everything done and kind of work together and make all of these sacrifices and do fantastic things when's needed, kind of in wars, in kind of times of like pandemics now, like this fantastic stuff going on globally, which just makes it all the more frustrating when there's not like a crisis, why people decide not to show kind of strength and endurance and the stuff that actually would make the world a better place when there's not an emergency going on. So yeah, I think there is strength and endurance all over, kind of all over the shop. I really, really do think that we should be teaching kids, and actually we should be teaching everyone about um, good mental health, and kind of, or we should just be more informed about it, and kind of more open to talk about it. And it's just a bit crazy that something that, I mean, we all have, we 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 all have mental health. If it's good, if it's bad, if it's somewhere in the between, if it's up or down, it's something that we can all be susceptible to. And I think it's something that definitely, hopefully things have changed since I've left school, but when I was at school we didn't talk about it at all. We talked about physical health and PE, we talked about food and nutrition, we talked about sex education, sexual health, um, but we didn't talk about mental health, which just to me seems absolutely odd, because it's such a big part of us. Why aren't we talking about it a bit more? Hopefully things have changed. But yeah, that is my one. If I could change anything within the education system, and there's lots of things I'd like to change, that would kind of be the thing of make that a core topic, give young people the skills and the kind of the knowledge, um, to help themselves and help the people around them, I think.